Tuscaloosa, a beautiful November afternoon for football as the Crimson Tide return to a hero's welcome after a statement win under the lights at LSU. Today, Alabama focused on the Mercer Bears, a team that's had a terrific season, 9-1 already. The SoCon champions, they've secured a spot in the FCS playoffs. Caleb DeBoer in year number 1 trying to get Alabama in the college football playoff. They are well on their way after that win at LSU a week ago. Hi, everybody. Alongside Rocky Boyman, I'm Jay Alter. We'll be joined by Ashley Stroline down on the sideline in just a moment. Rocky, you take a look at the Crimson Tide these past 2 weeks. They've won the games convincingly, and they've looked good doing it.
Yeah, the month of October wasn't kind to Alabama. They go 2-2, and the sky is falling. Fan base is wondering what's going on. Then the calendar flips in November, and they are absolutely rolling right now on both sides of the ball. You see the points per game, and then on defense, the takeaways they've gotten have really been the difference.
It's really following that loss to Tennessee where Alabama has hit a different gear, Ashley, and the Crimson Tide, they credit taking advantage of their adversity.
Yeah, the coaching staff told me following the team's 2 losses, they've really noticed their players respond with a sense of urgency and discipline. Coach DeBoer said, you know what, it's human nature. When your back is against the wall, you either fear it and give into it or you fight. He said, my group has chosen to fight. A message as of late to the team has been about applying pressure, but not just on game day to the opponent, but in how this team prepares. Their goal is to finish the season strong over these final 3 games and do something special in the postseason. And Rocky and Jay, you know what applying pressure does. It makes diamonds.
Now, the last 2 weeks have been terrific, trying to keep it going against Mike Jacobs' Mercer team. He's also a first-year head coach. Done a great job. SoCon champions 9-1 in a tall test today against Alabama, a Crimson Tide team that, if they win out, the College Football Playoff Committee, based off their rankings, it would indicate that they would be in, no doubt about it. As we are underway, Alabama won the opening coin toss, decided to defer, so it means Mercer will start with the football. Now, going against this Alabama defense is a tall task, but this is a special moment for a true freshman quarterback, Whit Neubauer, who grew up a diehard Alabama fan as a kid. You see him there, Bama fever, and he's taking Saban Field against the Tide. What a moment.
This has to feel surreal for Whit Neubauer, but he's a heck of a player. Young kid, a freshman, 6'6", 225.
Dwayne McGee, the running back, gets the first touch of the game. So Neubauer wears number 8 after his childhood favorite player, Julio Jones. Some great pictures of Whit supporting his childhood team, Alabama. There's Dad Mike, Mom Chrissy. So Bama fan growing up, but today he wants to beat them. That's the childhood bedroom. Gotta love that. That's what it's all about. Now that fostered a love of college football, and now he's playing against the Tide. 2nd and 8. Neubauer, reverse. Trying to turn that corner. Parker Roble wrapped down by Quay Rousseau. And Rousseau, the redshirt freshman, he's in for Q Robinson, who's out for the rest of the season with an elbow injury.
That was a huge loss. Q Robinson going down last week with the shoulder.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 4. The 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the run and includes an automatic first down.
Rousseau called for the horse collar.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Rocky Boyman, former linebacker, doesn't like that call.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that. But listen, for Quay Robinson or Quay Rousseau wants to get involved in this thing early, stepping in for Quay Robinson.
The ball placed to the 43-yard line after the penalty. 1st and 10 for Neubauer. Hands it off. Another flag flies. As it stands, a gain of 4 as we wait for the call.
offense, 2 players in motion did not reset. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat first down.
And that's going to be the challenge for this Alabama defense is Mercer's offense does a lot of stuff, right? Lots of formations, lots of motions. Run game, you'll see pin and pull, outside zone, inside zone. So it's just trying to determine what's their MO of today going to be. They want to try to figure that out early.
Mercer a week ago won 34-0 at VMI, and on the bus ride home they watched that Bama LSU game, and head coach Mike Jacobs said, we saw how talented they are. The one thing we can't afford to do is have unforced errors beat ourselves, and when you lose 5 yards on a penalty, now you got 2nd and 14 upcoming. It's tough to get behind the sticks against this Bama defense.
Yeah, it's tough. You already know it's going to be tough sledding going up against this offensive and defensive line of Alabama. You can't have those negative plays and those penalties.
Second and 14. Neubauer sets up the screenplay, finds McGee. He is dropped close to the original line of scrimmage, gain of 5. Broussard again on the tackle. He's been active, getting the start today instead of Q Robinson, who's out for the rest of the season.
Well, Jay, you know this old linebacker standing next to you is so excited to talk about these Bama linebackers. They have a bunch of good ones.
They'll have their ears pinned back on a 3rd and 9.
Linebackers were up in those A-gaps. Now they check out of it.
Play clock down to 2. Bama sends 4. Neubauer throwing on 3rd down, and that pass is incomplete. And a late flag flies in. Parker Roble, the intended target. This is going to be against Alabama.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
Against Devonta Smith, so a drive that should have ended in a Mercer punt will continue after the penalty.
Yeah, I don't know if Kalen DeVore loves that call. It came from way in the back. And I think he saw that left hand up on the shoulder pad of the receiver, just right out there where the official can see it. That's a tough call.
Both Mercer first downs on this drive have come through Alabama penalties. And now they're into Crimson Tide territory with the ball marked at the 41-yard line. C.J. Miller gets the carry. Ball's on the ground. Fumble, and Alabama has it. Damani Jackson shot in and pried it free. Big takeaway.
And Jay, it's the takeaways that have been the difference for Alabama the last 2 weeks. Look at Damani Jackson and the speed. It's a corner blitz. He comes off that side and just runs down C.J. Miller. Textbook. Popping that ball loose, coming down with that right hand, hammering the ball out. And you know, the obviously negative plays and TFLs and sacks are important to a defense, but there is nothing more important than getting these takeaways.
And now the offense on the field. Here's Jam Miller with some running room. And this is what Alabama could do. Even after giving up a couple of penalties, they reset in the middle of the field, get the takeaway, and now the ball in the hands of Jalen Milro. What a dual threat he's been this season. 13 passing touchdowns, 16 rushing.
And Jay, if there's a quarterback in the SEC playing better than him, I'd like to know who it is. He has been phenomenal the last 2 weeks.
Well, that dominant win against LSU, 4 rushing touchdowns. And he has put himself back in the Heisman race. Going with tempo here. 2nd and 5. Milro set to throw. And tosses it to wide open Jeremy Bernard for another Alabama first down as they get past the 30.
And this is what they like when Jalen Milro does this. Just take what the defense gives You know, go to the surest option. You don't need to make the incredible throw all the time. When he's being decisive in his reads and just putting the ball, taking what the defense gives, he's been phenomenal.
Goes under center for the first time. Hands it off to Ryan Williams, who turns the corner, steps on the gas. Touchdown, Alabama. Eighth touchdown of the season for the freshman phenom, Ryan Williams. So Alabama gets the takeaway with the forced fumble by Damani Jackson, and they cash in on the offensive end in just 4 plays.
And you can see Ryan Williams, a guy, you just want to get him the ball in space. Let him go. The jet sweep. 2 blockers out in front, and is Alabama keeping their foot on the gas here early.
Alabama a 7-0 lead. And Mercer was putting together a pretty good opening drive. Damani Jackson forced the fumble, and then Ryan Williams opens the scoring. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley.
Well, I had the opportunity to spend some time talking with Ryan Williams earlier this week. Got a lot of insight about who the young kid is. He said, you know what? No one in the building really acknowledges that anymore. He said leadership doesn't have an age on it, and I love that quote from him. He also said, off the field, I'm the guy that's laughing, smiling, I light up the room. But on the field, it's about winning. Football is a way to provide for my family, and you're dealing with a different human when I step onto the field. He said, that's Hollywood, and Hollywood is who you just saw take it into the end zone.
Yeah, Ash, I love the story Kalen DeBoer told us yesterday. I said, well, how early did you know that Williams was special? He's like, about 4 practices. That's about all it took for the young freshman to really make an impact.
He told us that he had defensive players coming up to him saying, this kid needs to be part of the ones.
You got to get this guy over with the ones.
Yeah, they were tired of dealing with him on the scout team.
Right. You know, the players know. They always tell the truth. They know who the studs are out there, and they say, we need to get number 2 the football, and they have all year.
He has made an immediate impact for this Alabama team, the most explosive player this season for the Crimson Tide. 2nd and 8. A pitch to Keelan Parsons, breaks a tackle, and then upended at the 32. So this will be 3rd and manageable for a Mercer offense that actually moved the ball pretty well on their opening drive before that Damani Jackson forced fumble.
They were helped out by a couple penalties, but yeah, moved the ball decent, but just had that critical turnover.
And Alabama will make you pay. They cashed in for the opening touchdown. A 7-0 Crimson Tide lead. 3rd and 3 for Whit Neubauer, the true freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, going against his childhood favorite team, Alabama. Gonna run it on 3rd and 2. McGee wrestled Jahad Campbell. Showing why he is one of the best linebackers in the nation. The pursuit of the football to get a 3rd down stop.
And Jay, how excited have I been all week to talk about Jahad Campbell? I mean, one of the best in the country. Watch him hunt. And the lateral quickness, he absolutely does it all. And he just pops right off the screen when you watch him on tape.
Already
a truly special player.
3 tackles for Campbell in this opening quarter. Rocky, you played linebacker at Notre Dame, 8 years in the NFL. What specifically makes Campbell special?
In a baseball terminology, he's a 5-tool player. He does everything. He can rush, he can play the run, he can drop into coverage, he can play over a tight end. There's not anything he can't do. When you have him on your team, you're not getting 1 player, you're getting like 3 players.
Yeah, 12 tackles under the lights in Baton Rouge against LSU. Now back at home, and his Alabama team a 7-0 lead midway through the first. And it feels like in the passing game, maybe they don't get enough credit. Look at the explosives they create in the passing game. Yards per passing touchdown, 38.5, which is the best in all of Division I football.
And there's no question that Kalen DeBoer coming over as coach has really helped Jalen Milro in that passing department and creating in those big plays. And you see DeBoer constantly coaching him up. Really like how he's developed.
And even though they hit on a lot of those explosives where they'll take shots downfield, he's been preaching to Milro, we don't need that on every play. Take it if it's there, but very content to take the short yardage chunk plays as well. They'll start this drive from their own 15-yard line. Milro hit as he throws. Ball's in the air. Dangerous, but it falls incomplete. Isaac Dowling provided the pressure for Mercer. There's a flag in the backfield.
That's not what you want at all, is having your quarterback take a shot to the chops as he's releasing the ball.
Yeah, he took a big hit there.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 3. Contact to the head of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Isaac Dowling is livid. You be the judge.
It looked like the brunt of the force came with the shoulder and the follow through with the arm. I don't really see that. But in today's football, that's something that gets called.
1st and 10 from the 30 after the penalty. Justice Haynes in the backfield on the left hip of Milro. Milro designed quarterback run, finds the hole, steps right through it for an Alabama first down. Gain of 16.
And he does such a good job, Jay, of, as we saw right there, just kind of hanging patiently behind those blockers, letting that thing develop. And then he just has explosion like no one else has. That once that daylight comes open, boom, he nails it. And this is the key to this Alabama offense. When they establish him on the ground and they get his legs going, this team is very, very hard to beat.
Now, obviously, that was the story a week ago at LSU. 4 rushing touchdowns, 185 yards. Set to throw here, taking a deep shot, wide open, it's caught! What a grab! No, it falls out incomplete. Caleb Odom, the freshman from Georgia. I thought that was going to be a spectacular catch. He just couldn't quite survive the ground.
Yeah, that ball sailed just a little bit on Milro.
You see it, he had it, and then it just squeezes out as he hits the ground.
Almost an unbelievable catch by the 6'5" freshman Odom.
That would have been on SportsCenter top 10 had he held on. Pushing that pile on 2nd and 10. Great job by the offensive line to get behind the sophomore Justice Haynes. Gain of 6 sets up a 3rd and manageable.
I think his offensive line is playing better the last couple weeks too, Jay, especially I think that left side. The left tackle, left guard, Proctor, Booker, also Brailsford, the center, really playing at a high level right now.
They are really high on Tyler Booker, the left guard, the leadership he's brought to this team with a new coaching staff, keeping that Alabama standard in this locker room. 3rd and 4. Milro, quarterback keeper, has the first down. Ball comes out, and Mercer has it. This is going to be ruled Mercer football. There was no whistle. Milro insisting he was down, but the official signaled that this is Mercer ball. They'll obviously take a look.
And this is something Alabama has not done the last couple weeks on offense, is turn the ball over. It's actually been 3 weeks since they've had a turnover.
Ruling of a fumble recovered by the defense on the previous play is under video review. Timeout.
It was the freshman Andrew Zock who ripped it out, but is that ball free before Milro's knees hit?
Very close.
I think the knee might be down. He's ripping that ball, knees down there.
That's very close, Jay, and since it was called a fumble on the field, I think it may be tough to overturn that. There's got to be indisputable video evidence that his knee was down, and right there, that ball is starting to come out just as the knee is getting ready to hit.
It's all going to depend on where the replay officials determine the ball
being out
is out. Now, the ball does begin to move, even though Milro has it secured. The ball definitely starts moving before the knee, but it's not out until the knee is down. Alabama had a forced fumble, which ignited their touchdown drive. Mercer trying to answer. This is a team that does a great job with takeaways. They lead all of FCS football with 28 takeaways on the season. Now, 21 of those are interceptions, but
yeah, back to your point, Jay, it all is going to be when they determine that ball is coming out. But the fact that it was ruled a fumble and so close like this, usually they go to the call on the field. Let's see.
After video review, the ruling is the runner was down at the 41-yard line prior to losing possession. It's first down Alabama at that spot.
I think that's the right call, because that ball is not out and the knees certainly hit. So the ball will stay with Alabama. Ball at the Mercer 41-yard line.
And one more time, yeah, it's very, very close, and certainly a case to be made for that.
You said it, Rocky. Alabama's done such a good job protecting the football. No turnovers over the last 3 weeks, so that streak is intact. As a flag flies in. And this is against the Crimson Tide.
Holding offense number 74. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
This Alabama offense needs to get back in rhythm here. They've had a missed deep shot, a ball that was almost a fumble, and now we got a penalty.
First and 20. Milro throwing. Pass is caught. Ryan Williams wrestled down. Gain of 17.
There you go. You need to get your offense back in rhythm, Jay. Find number 2 out there and get him the ball. That's certainly a security blanket for Jalen Milro.
Jam Miller on the carry. That's another Alabama first down. What's incredible about Ryan Williams, Rocky, who's got the lone touchdown for Alabama today, is everybody has him circled at the top of the scouting report, and yet he still makes plays, finds a way to get free.
That's the mark of a truly special player. When everyone knows he's going to get the majority of looks, and everyone knows when it's crunch time, they're going to look the way of number 2, and he can still have success. You got a special one.
Milro, pitch to Miller running left. He's taken down, only a gain of 1.
But Jay, it has been kind of heavy on 2 players in the pass game. Both Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams have been the bulk of the production in the pass game. The rest of the team, you see the stats there. That's something they want to get some of these other guys going a bit more.
Who's one of those guys that you feel like could emerge?
I think Kendrick Law. He is, by all accounts, the fastest guy on the team. I'd love to see him get him going.
Milro picks out C.J. Dupree wide open over the middle of the field. Another Crimson Tide first down as they march into the red zone.
And there's another guy, C.J. Dupree. He doesn't have a ton of catches on the year, but they've always seemed to be big ones. Here we go, a little just late leak out over the middle. Nice sized target, 6'5", 262.
Milro play action, flips it. Ryan Williams makes a cut, scoots into the end zone. His second touchdown in this first quarter. Ryan Williams cashes in a 9-play, 85-yard touchdown drive. Mike Jacobs and Mercer felt like they should have had a fumble on that drive. Instead, it results in an Alabama touchdown and a 14-0 lead.
And Ryan Williams just floats out there. You look, he's like, is he moving fast? Because he's just so relaxed and fluid, but he is easily one of the fastest guys on the team. Just they get him the ball out in the flat here and just effortlessly just weaves his way through the traffic, the acceleration, the speed, all the way to pay dirt. And Alabama finding number 2 early and often here today, 14-0 Crimson Tide.
Receiver Ryan Williams. That's now 10 touchdowns on the season for Williams. 8 through the air, 2 with his feet. Most by a Bama freshman wide receiver since 2012, Amari Cooper.
The kid was playing high school football last year, and now here he is on the biggest stage. One of the best players in the SEC. Fast, fluid, game changer, and you said it the best, Jay. A guy that opposing defenses know he's getting the ball. It's going to come the way of number 2, and you still can't stop it. The true mark of a great player.
Alabama obviously has produced superstar wide receivers. He could be right up there when it's all said and done.
Yeah, with the Julio Joneses of the world and all those guys.
Mercer trying to get something going. Easier said than done against an Alabama defense that is playing with so much confidence. You just take a look at the Crimson Tide over the last 2 games. You shut out Missouri and then feel like they got a shutout. The ones got a shutout, if you will. Didn't allow a touchdown, a meaningful touchdown last week against LSU. Played 2 complete games, just trying to stack those consistent performances week in and week out.
Yeah, I just think it's taking a little time for this defense to gel a little bit. I don't think they don't have that top pass rusher maybe they've had in the past, so they're having to rely a little bit on the blitz, a little more on those middle linebackers like Campbell to get the pressure on the quarterback, but they're starting to figure it out.
Now Campbell, the junior linebacker, certainly set the tone for this defense, but there's so much talent around him. Broken tackle, first down Mercer. C.J. Miller, the Gadsden, Alabama product, gain of 19, biggest play of the day for this Bears offense.
It's a nice job. C.J. Miller, a little zone to the right and cuts back across. So C.J. Miller is usually more the downhill guy that closes these games out, but showed some nice lateral quickness there. Missed tackle right there on the edge. Pierre.
Play action. Neubauer dialing up a deep ball right on the money into the Alabama secondary. Parker Roble, back-to-back big plays for Mercer as they move into Crimson Tide territory.
This is a big throw by Neubauer, and what you're trying to do is fit that ball in front of the safety and behind the corner. This is really, really good. You see Mbakwe, the cornerback, he's trying to get depth, but the right trajectory on that ball puts it right on the money.
Pre-snap penalty against Mercer.
Ball start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's the second time today where Mercer's finally found some momentum offensively, and they get a penalty on first down to make it 1st and 15.
It's just absolute drive killers. Get some momentum, get a good play, and then the negative play. The room for error here today for Mercer obviously is very, very low.
Play action again. Neubauer rolling right. Finds Roble again. Gain of 3. Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashland.
Well, Mercer senior receiver Keelan Parsons just came out of the injury tent. He had to be helped to a cart. The team is now taking him back into the locker room. You can see him there headed back. It looked like he was favoring his lower right leg. The trainers were working on that. They then decided to bring him out of the injury tent and take him back to the locker room.
Yeah, and Ashley Parsons has been dealing with an ankle on and off all season. And since the Princeton game, he's been healthy and been great, but unfortunately, he has the injury here.
It's a big loss. He's been their top wide receiver this season. And they're already without Braden Smith. Those two have about 1,000 yards receiving. Smith, another talented wide receiver on Mike Jacobs' team. So Neubauer without his top 2 targets.
From Alabama here, I'm bringing some pressure. Freshman quarterback. Let's see how quick he can process information.
1 minute remaining in this first quarter. It has belonged to Alabama. With Neubauer and Mercer trying to get something.
Up in there.
3rd and 7. And it's intercepted, deflected at the line. It went right to Quay Russaw. And it's another Alabama takeaway.
Interception by Alabama will be first down.
Well, Kane Womack, the Alabama defensive coordinator, told us yesterday we want to bring pressure early and often. Here on the critical 3rd down, they did just that. You bring the linebackers, Campbell up in the A-gaps, Malachi Moore, and then it's Quay Russaw that drops out. And how about the acrobatic catch there while he's going to his back as he's dropping out, goes away from his body and able to pull that thing in. Deontay Lawson right up in Neubauer's grill.
Not much the freshman quarterback could do there. With Lawson in hot pursuit, ball back to Jalen Milro and this explosive offense. Blown up in the backfield there. Andrew Zock, the freshman, shot in, loss of 5.
And we got to talk about this Mercer defense. As you see Zock come just untouched right off the offense's left side. But one thing this Mercer defense has done is get takeaways this year. 28 takeaways, which is first in the country at the FCS level.
Milro checks it down. That is a great example of what Jalen Milro did so effectively last week at LSU. Just finds Jam Miller when nobody's open.
That's the end of the first quarter.
The first quarter was a productive play. That's what they want to see more out of Milro. 2-touchdown lead after 1.
Just to protect the football, right? We've had 2 turnovers here early. That's one of the keys when you're playing this good of a program. You can't turn the ball over. So we got to stay ahead of the sticks, get a little more on 1st and 2nd down so we're not in 3rd down and long, and then we got to protect the football.
And it looked like your defense had the takeaway. That call was reversed. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's obviously what they saw on film, and I thought it was a great play by our kid. The ball was out. A little more frustrated. I thought we had a good hit on the quarterback and a clean shot down there, but that's all right. We'll keep fighting.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you. Thought it was a great play by our kid. The ball was out. A little more frustrated. I thought we had a good hit on the quarterback and a clean shot down there. But that's all right. We'll keep fighting.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
A great hit there to start this second quarter by Mike Jacobs' defense.
As we talked about, this Mercer defense, #1 in the country in takeaways, but also the top rushing defense in the FCS. They got some players out there. Now they're without Braden Manley, their best defensive end, which doesn't help, but these guys fly around.
And Tommy Bliss with a terrific tackle. This is 4th and 1, and Kalen DeBoer keeps his offense on the field. Milro under center, trying to push that pile. and got just enough.
He got it. Was very okay. They're going to get
to remove those chains.
Very close.
First down, Alabama. But sticking with Mercer for a little bit, Mike Jacobs, year number 1, taking over this program. What a job he's done. 9-1. They've already clinched a share of the Southern Conference, which means they'll be in the FCS playoff. Milro, this is what he can do. The escapability to turn a sack into a first down.
Yeah, you talk about Mike Jacobs, head coach, former offensive lineman at Ohio State. He told us this week, you know, he's an old O-line coach, right? Everything with him starts and ends with the offensive line and defensive line. He said, I'm not a play caller. I'm a fundamentals guy. That's kind of the key theme of his program development.
We had it up there, but first conference title since 1932. That must feel good. And they already know they're in the playoff. Alabama's fighting to get into the FBS playoff, which is expanded to 12 for the first time. FCS, they've been playing at 12 since 1983. Actually, they're all the way at 24 now, and Mercer's going to be one of those 24 teams competing in it.
Certainly a fantastic first season for Mike Jacobs.
Getting tested today. Milro off his back foot, wide open, busted coverage. Robbie Oots, the senior, 44-yard touchdown. Oots was left all alone. His first touchdown of the season.
And Jay, we mentioned earlier about how Alabama needs to get some other people involved in this offense. Robbie Oots, that's just his 5th catch of the season, and it goes for a touchdown.
And Caleb DeBoer's team rolling up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Caleb DeBoer wants Jalen Milro to take the safe option. Don't have to fit the ball in a tight window if you don't have to. Well, how about throw it to your tight end who's wide open right down the middle of the field, get it in his hands. He takes it in for the touchdown. Milro loves it, and so do Alabama fans. 21-0 Crimson Tide.
3 touchdowns for Jalen Milro of this Alabama offense. It's the second game they've had a scoring touchdown on their first 3 possessions, the other one being that fantastic win against Georgia. 6 plays, 68 yards in just 3 minutes, Rocky. You were super impressed with Milro's read here.
Yeah, and you'll see the tight end Robbie Oots. He's in that wing to the right side of the formation. Hard play action, and Tommy Bliss, the safety, right there realizes, oh no, this is a play action pass. But it's too late because Robbie Oots gets behind Bliss. Easy throw, easy catch, and that's all the result of being able to run the ball, and you got to stop the run and stack the box because here comes Jam Miller, and here comes Justice Haynes, and before you know it, that thing's going over your head.
So the way Milro and this Alabama offense has looked the last 3 weeks, if they can keep this rolling, they will be dangerous in the college football playoff. You know, the committee, as it stands, has them in. If they can take care of their business, that would continue. And their offense, they're playing their best football the right time of the year.
They are. If you're another SEC team right now or a team in the playoff, I don't know if you want to play Alabama with the way Jalen Milro is coming together under the teaching of Kalen DeBoer and how the defense is really tightening up, getting the takeaways. This is a dangerous, dangerous team at the moment.
2nd and 12. Whit Neubauer rolling right, plants his feet, throws. That pass is caught. This will set up 3rd and short.
And I think that's what you got to do if you're Mercer. You got to get outside the pocket, roll out. You stay back in the pocket, it's not going to be fun with the way Alabama gets after the passer. And Neubauer, strong arm, traditionally more of a pocket guy, but got that length. He get him outside. He can make some plays.
He started the season as the third-string quarterback, has worked his way up the depth chart. He's come in, won big games for this Mercer team. Helped clinch the Southern Conference a week ago with that win against VMI. Play clock down to 2. Gets it off just in time. Play action. Picks up the first down. Gutsy by Parker Roble through contact to move the chains.
That's what you got to do. They're going to complete some passes, get a ball in the flat. You got to come up and tackle. Shut them down, no yards after catch. Love it. That was the freshman, Jalen Mbakwe, coming up, laying the wood down.
Mercer getting back-to-back positive plays. That time, Dwayne McGee. He has been remarkably durable given his size. Just 5'8", 180. Had a terrific career at Lenoir-Rhyne and then followed coaches from Lenoir-Rhyne to Mercer. And he's nearing 1,000 yards on the ground again at this level.
And this is great. I mean, he makes a guy miss in space. Here comes Mbakwe coming downhill, unblocked, and a little bit of wiggle, and bounces that thing to the outside and gets upfield. That's special talent right there.
Quick hitter out to the flat. Alabama reads it so well. Gang tackled. Jahad Campbell in on the scene again. You just watch number 11 in crimson. He is so fun out there.
And he's the perfect combination. We talked about the athleticism. I mean, come on. 6'3", 244, can go all over the place. But his motor, you pair of an exceptional athlete like that with a high motor, plays faster and harder than anybody else out there, you have a truly special player.
Campbell in this Bama defense trying to get off the field on a 3rd and 3. Pressure comes. Neubauer in trouble. Throws. Completes the pass for a Mercer first down to Roble. Ball comes out. Alabama has it. Zabian Brown with blockers in front of him. Brown takes it for a Crimson Tide touchdown. There's flags everywhere on the field. But as it stands, a 68-yard fumble return. You know there's a lot of flags when an official has to throw his hat because he's out of flags to throw.
It looks like the defender for Alabama with a hit on Neubauer, the quarterback, who was trying to get the runner down.
Holding offense number 70. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a fumble recovered by the defense and return for a touchdown.
So count the touchdown.
And here's Campbell blitzing. There's the hold. And that's the thing. He hits that hole so quick, you're forced to have the hold. And then what an excellent job popping the ball out. And then the speed, the swarm of this Alabama defense. Zabian Brown with a textbook hit on the ball. And then here comes the cavalry leading the way all the way down the field for the touchdown.
So a 68-yard fumble return for the touchdown. The freshman from Mater Dei, powerhouse high school program out in California. This secondary is really young. And Mbakwe and Brown, they've played a lot of football for true freshmen, and here they are in game number 10 making big plays on that drive to extend this Alabama lead.
Mike Jacobs just not happy with how his team's performing right now. I know it's Alabama, but lots of forced errors. Now it's the defense. We've been talking about them all day, how great they've been the last few weeks. Now they get another turnover and finally a defensive score for this Crimson Tide defense.
Forcing 2 fumbles, an interception as well. A frustrating day at the office for this Mercer team.
Yeah, you come in here and it's tough sledding right out of the gate, of course, but you want to play your best football. You know, it's one thing if they're just out, you're making plays and stopping you, but to have the penalties, to have the turnovers, that's what he's upset about.
And the latest fumble returned 68 yards to the house by Xavier Brown. That is the first defensive touchdown scored by Alabama this season, and it comes in game number 10. In the middle of the season, this defense hit a 3-game lull at Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and at Tennessee. And speaking with the defensive coaches, they said this team has really responded with more urgency, more anticipation, and more discipline. You've really seen that for Alabama over these last 3 games.
Yeah, but I love what Kane Waldman told us yesterday as well. And we want guys on this defense who want to work and hate to lose. And, you know, if you're willing to put the work in, which seems like this secondary is, this young secondary, and everybody on this defense, and you're starting to see the results.
They just fly to that football. That's the anticipation piece of it, Rocky. You played linebacker for 8 years in the NFL. What is it about anticipation when everybody's reading the ball really well?
Well, first of all, it shows they're a well-coached team, right? You know what the scheme is. You're not surprised by what the offense is doing. So you've done the preparation, and then from there, it's just playing confident with that high motor. And then the thing that also stands out to me, Jay, is at every level, they defeat blocks. Even the guys in the secondary, they're coming, they will shed a block and get to the ball carrier.
A good throw by Neubauer for a Mercer first down. Keelan Parsons, good to see him back into the game after he was carted to the locker room earlier this half.
Good job. And good timing of that pass as well. And you get Parsons going as soon as that foot hits and he goes on that out route. There's the ball. That's what you need out of your young quarterback. Good timing. And Parsons, shucking up again.
Clearly still just trying to fight through something. They're going to need him healthy for the FCS playoffs in a few weeks. Both of these teams focused on postseason play. Alabama trying to get there. If they win out, College Football Playoff Committee, I think they've indicated they would be in the field of 12. Mercer has clinched the spot by winning the Southern Conference. That starting quarterback DJ Smith, he's missed the last 2 weeks, battling an ankle injury. We saw him go through a full workout pregame. It has been the backup Whit Neubauer taking all the snaps so far today. Another Bears first down.
And DJ Smith, just a little bit different style quarterback. We want a dual threat, as you mentioned. Good in that run game when he has to. See great completion percentage. And the thing, too, is just the experience. He's a junior where Whit Neubauer is a true freshman.
Running it on 1st and 10 right into a crimson wall. Only a gain of 1. This is what Mercer has done in this first half. They'll pick up a first down or 2. They're moving the ball okay, and then boom, Alabama comes with a big play. They've forced 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and interception in this first half. There's an injured Mercer offensive lineman. Xavier Jennings, the left tackle, is down. We'll step aside. Alabama rolling. 4 touchdowns. The first 2 belong to Ryan Williams.
And they've taken advantage of some Mercer mistakes. Ryan Williams with the first 2 touchdowns. Get him the ball in space. Let him just go out there. And then Jalen Milro hooking up with his tight end, Robbie Oots, wide open down the middle of the field in the play action. And then capping it all off, Xavier Brown, the freshman, with the defensive score.
Neubauer couldn't connect there on 2nd and 9. So 3 of the 4 Alabama touchdowns scored by freshmen that wear the number 2. Ryan Williams with the first 2. Xavier Brown, the fumble recovery return for a touchdown. 200 total yards for Alabama this first half.
Yeah, and you look at Mercer, 132 yards, that's good, but then here's the story that just neutralizes all that. 3 Mercer turnovers. Just can't have it.
Third and 9. Neubauer in trouble. Down he goes. Jahad Campbell. 5th sack of the season. A loss of 12. How good is he, Rocky?
His 6th tackle of the game is a big one. And again, he is providing the pass rush. And it's just his quickness. Shooting right through that gap. Little inside move over E.J. Johnson, the right tackle. And Jay, just a little filling everybody. You know, when you're preparing for a game as an analyst, it's easy to find good offensive players. Who's catching the ball, who's running the ball. It's a little bit harder to find who are the dudes on defense. I start off this week, you turn on the Alabama defensive tape, and in about 10 plays, you're like, that guy's different. Jahad Campbell is just different, and what a playmaker.
Ryan Williams did not call for the fair catch there. Mercer expected him to. Let's stick with Campbell. You played in the NFL. You played this position in the NFL for 8 years, Rocky. What makes him such a great linebacker?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, but in a baseball way of saying things, he's like the 5-tool player. He's got the leadership, the athleticism absolutely off the charts. If you're 6'3" and you're 244, you shouldn't be able to run like this, but he can. He blitzes, he drops into coverage. He'll line up over a tight end, and then the main thing you need out of an inside linebacker is, can he play sideline to sideline? Can he shut guys down to the right, to the left? And Jahad Campbell can do just that.
And to me, he's got the NFL body, so it's not like he needs to do anything to improve his body. Is he a guy that starts day one in the league?
I think so. I think he's, in my opinion, he's a top 15 pick, because you're getting like 3 players in one. You're getting a guy who can blitz. Okay, you need that. You're getting a guy that can cover it. You don't have to, you know, he can cover a tight end. You don't have to bring a safety in a nickel package. But then you get a guy that just makes tackles. You got to have somebody on your defense that runs around and makes tackles. That's a linebacker's job, period, end of story. And Jahad Campbell is just very, very special.
Well, Mel Kiper's got him as the number 2 linebacker on his big board. Number 1's Walker out of Georgia. You've seen both of them because we saw Georgia early in the season. Who do you like better?
I got to go with Campbell. I mean, both are terrific, but Campbell has just made more splash plays. I mean, that blitz forced fumble last week against LSU, it's raining, and how he's able to shoot that gap, stay on his feet, and still pop the ball loose. That was a special play, and you see him over and over again.
Jalen Milro unable to move the chains on that 3rd down, so this is the first time punting today for Alabama. James Burnip. This will be his 40th punt of the season. Mercer sent a lot of pressure. Burnip completely miskicked this. Mercer might have even gotten a piece of it, because this ball did not travel at all. The 48-yard line is where it marks. This will be good starting field position. Only a 20-yard punt from Burnip there.
Now, I think it's just a bad punch. Kind of came off his foot funny, and then he gets rolled up on by his own guy. And look, it's hard to see in this frame, but Jahad Campbell can also catch punts. He's on the sideline with one hand, reaches over, catches the out-of-bounds punt.
He's like doing it all today. So Mercer already into Alabama territory. You know, they've struggled with field position today. Maybe they can get something here at the end of the first half, trailing 28-0.
And Neubauer's been pretty good. You know, it's only he's got the one interception, but other than that, he's been pretty good when he's not laying flat on his back.
Neubauer slings it over the middle. That pass is caught for another Mercer first down. Keelan Parsons back onto the field.
Give Keelan Parsons a lot of credit. He is certainly not 100% healthy right now, but given a gutsy performance. And how about the arm strength by Neubauer, rolling all the way to the right, coming back across. Finding Parsons.
Fourth catch for Parsons today. Neubauer, we told you, childhood team was Alabama. He's been to this stadium plenty of times as a fan, now playing on it as a freshman. That's got to be cool, Rocky. You watch this Crimson Tide team, you root for them to win national championships, and now you're playing against them.
Yeah, it's just something you can't imagine. There's the parents. Dad taking some pictures. Mom next to him, proud of their son out there.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's what college football's all about right there. Second and 6, final play before the 2-minute timeout. Neubauer taking a deep shot, contested ball, and it's caught. Mercer touchdown. Kendall Harris. Mom and Dad love it. What a moment for the Neubauer family. Great throw by Witt, the true freshman.
It's a great throw, but it is a spectacular catch, Jay. One-handed. Kendall Harris, Neubauer put it right on the money over the outside shoulder. Kendall Harris, he pulls in. Look at Mom and Dad. That is just fantastic. Mom, get them fired up, Mom.
Chrissy and Mike Neubauer, a moment they'll never forget. Alabama fan growing up with Neubauer. Now
this is the 2-minute
on Saban Field making throws like this.
Yeah, putting the ball in the perfect spot, but sometimes you need a little help from your wide receiver. Kendall Harris reaches one hand up and hauls that thing in. Mercer finally gets on the board, and some very happy Neubauer parents.
You know, what a moment this must be for a kid who grew up a diehard Alabama fan, throwing a touchdown on Saban Field against the Tide. What dreams are made of, Rocky.
Yeah, just a great throw and catch. Neubauer throws it perfect to the outside, and then
number 87
some
for
help.
Alabama, signal for a fair catch. First down to the 25-yard line.
Catching that ball over to Deshaun Jones, and then the parents of Whit Neubauer. And you know what? No matter what happens with Whit Neubauer's career the rest of the way, his mom and dad will say, my honey, my boy had a touchdown pass at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And as we talked earlier, just the growing up the Alabama fan, young Whit Neubauer.
And that's the childhood bedroom, all Bama. He throws a touchdown against him. Milro trying to answer. Deep ball right on the money. Jeremy Bernard there to make the catch. 45-yard gain.
As much as this offense, Jay, has been about Jalen Milro running the ball lately, that's the critical piece, but he also has incredible arm talent. And they have made explosive plays in the pass game, rolling to the right, off the back foot, just landing right in the basket there for Bernard.
A quick strike. Bama with all 3 timeouts, plenty of time here, running it with Justice Haynes. Now, how do you ignite a 2-minute offense? How about a 45-yard bomb?
Yeah, that always helps your offensive coordinator call plays when you get a big chunk yardage play right there to start things off. Kalen DeBoer really happy with the way this offense has grown.
Chance to add another touchdown here. Play action. Milro surveys, throws to the end zone. Passes incomplete. Tried to pick out Robbie Oots again. He had a receiving touchdown first of the season earlier this half.
A little bit of pressure on Milro. He sidesteps, just throws that ball a little bit high. Yeah. This one, maybe you just put a little more air on, let Oots run underneath it and back in the end zone.
Play clock under 5. Milro on 3rd and 7. Hit as he threw it. Yet still delivered a very good ball. Passes incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Emmanuel Henderson Jr.
He has good pressure here. Defensive line, not humongous, but they get after the passer here. That was Arius Nash, one of their best defensive linemen, coming right up the pipe.
No, we haven't seen much of Graham Nicholson this season. Only 6 field goal attempts on the year. This is the 10th game Alabama has played. 45-yard attempt for the transfer from Miami, Ohio. And he drills it. And he won the Lou Groza Award, which goes to the nation's best kicker a year ago. Went into the transfer portal, came down to Bama. He had 28 field goal attempts last year. That's just his 7th, but he makes it from 45 yards out. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the $1 Million Band on SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming it right now on the ESPN app. You know, the goal today for Alabama to stack another consistent performance after the last 2 games, 34-0 against Missouri, 42-13 against LSU. They're about halfway there, Rocky.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very, very good day for Alabama, and both offensively and defensively. And that's what we talked about, Jay, at the beginning of the program here. It's not just like the offense has been spectacular and the defense has been kind of puttering along, or vice versa. It's the complementary football they've had these last 2 weeks, and now 3, including this Saturday here. That's really been the difference. And it always helps to have a guy with the talent level of Jihad Campbell. And here we go, running sideline to sideline, tracking, finding the ball. And here we go, he's coming to the outside again. He always pops up into the screen. No matter what, he's around the ball, he shows up in the screen, and then makes the consistent plays, and then makes the huge plays. I mean, blitzing right up the middle. He's got 7 tackles on the day, the sack, and just a true game record there, number 11.
In on that tackle. You just can't keep your eyes off him.
He's so quick, too. For such a big guy, he's so quick. You can't block him. You can't get hands on him. He has good instincts, which you have to have as a linebacker. You kind of just got to have a good feel of where that ball is going to go. But you just rarely ever see the guy blocked.
And that's not from a lack of trying to block him.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, you watch film all week, you know, Mercer, whoever the other team is, says, boy, we got to make sure that guy doesn't crush our day here, and he just continues to do so.
He's got Deontay Lawson next to him. Those 2 linebackers really set the tone defensively for Alabama. Really strong first half for Kalen DeBoer's team. Looking to make it 3 straight wins, up 31-7 at halftime. Well, the hallmark of Alabama football under Nick Saban was they would find a way to play their best football at the right time of the year. Here we are in mid-November, and Alabama's trying to make it 3 straight wins, a 31-7 lead at halftime. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. A fantastic first half for a Bama team that's looked really good in their last 2 games, and they've just picked up where they left off.
Yeah, they really have, and that's been what we've talked about all game. Is the last 2 games, as the calendar flipped into November, it's complementary football, right? They're taking care of the ball on offense, getting explosive plays. J.H. Milro killing teams with his legs, and then on defense, getting the takeaways, getting some of those stops, and that's what we've seen so far here today.
If you're first-year head coach Kalen DeBoer, what are you happiest with in that first half?
Yeah, I just think it's the fact that both sides of the ball have come out and played. You know what I mean? Jalen Milro has done great getting the big passes down the field. I mean, Ryan Williams, your stars, played fantastic. And then Xavier Brown on defense gets the defensive score. Jihad Campbell, it's like every player at all 3 levels on defense, offense, the wide receivers, the running backs, everybody is playing very, very well right now as a team for Alabama.
It was Ryan Williams, the phenomenal freshman wide receiver, that got the party started. 2 first half touchdowns for him.
Yeah, and it just really, right off the bat, they get him involved early, which is always what you want to do with your best players. Don't let them sit around for a quarter or 2 quarters getting cold and not getting the ball. Get them involved early, and you see what happens when you do that. And then Oots, the tight end, on the play action, goes over the middle. Nice throw by Milro, and then this defense has come up here big. Getting the forced fumble and getting these defensive score, the first one of the year. And again, just playing great complementary football.
3 takeaways by this Bama defense through the first half. That led, obviously, to the touchdown, obviously. But when you take a look at the stats, if you took out the score, you'd think Mercer played pretty well in that first half.
That's why stats can lie until you look at that turnover department. That is the be-all, end-all. I mean, the time of possession, Mercer has held the ball a lot longer than Alabama has, but as we've described, you can get sacks, you can get TFLs, all that on defense, but it's the takeaways that is the lifeblood of playing great defense, and that's what they're doing.
Let's check in down on the sideline with Ashley Stroline.
Well, guys, you just mentioned those takeaways. Coach DeBoer looked at me. He said, we've got 3, right? I said, you sure do. He's pretty happy about those takeaways. Give some credit to Mercer for that big play they made to get into the end zone. He also said on offense, we'd really like to have run the ball more in the first half, but I'm going to give some more credit to Mercer for their defense at the line of scrimmage. He said in the second half, he wants to get some new guys out there, get them some reps, but he's still going to use this with his starters in certain situations to make sure they get the reps that they need in this second half as well, like you saw him do with that 2-minute drill at the end of the first.
It'll be Kalen DeBoer's offense that gets the ball to start this second half, a 31-7 lead on what is a beautiful November day at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa.
And Jay, that was always the hallmark of the Nick Saban teams. There was never a let-up, right? No matter who you're playing, what the scenario was, the standard is always at the highest level, and that's what Kalen DeBoer wants to make sure they do here throughout this second half.
McKendrick Law on the return, breaks a tackle. He's upended just past the 30. And Jalen Milro will start this second half. I'm wondering how long we would see him today, but Ashley just said an opportunity to give these guys some more reps here before they let the 2s in.
Yeah, and I think some of the thought process there too is, keep your best quarterback in the game, let him distribute the ball out and get the ball in the hands of some other guys and get them going a bit. No one knows this offense and runs it better than Jalen Milro.
The pitch here, Jam Miller running right, trying to turn that corner, and he does. First down, Alabama to start the second half.
Jam Miller has had a great year, especially of late. He's like a third down machine, and especially against LSU. He needed a good third down completion, get the ball in 26's hands.
There's offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan. Enjoyed our conversation with him yesterday.
Yeah, and Sheridan's, you come in your first year, you're learning your personnel, and it's even different now with the transfer portal, and sometimes it takes a little time to know your guys, and I think right now he's figuring out who his guys are on offense, and they're really playing well.
And Ryan Williams with that catch. Everybody knows who he is, the top playmaker for this Alabama offense, just waiting for maybe a supporting cast to emerge behind him.
And I think that's what Nick Sherman would really like to see. Just some more and more guys step up as you get, you play these better teams as the season goes on. They're going to figure out ways to stop Ryan Williams. Who's the next guy to step up?
3rd and 4. Milro escapes, trying to pick it up with his feet, falling forward. Needed 4, got 4. First down, Alabama.
And that's what he does, is just no pass option on the back end here. Just is able to tuck the ball and pick up the first down. And the guy that I really was expecting for them to get the ball and get in this game is Kendrick Law, the speedy wide receiver. I'd like to see him get number 1 going.
He's yet to touch it. Pump and go. Milro right on the money. Finds Bernard. Wrestled down just shy of the 20. Jeremy Bernard brought over from Washington. Gain of 23.
Yeah, this is a great pass concept. It was actually Kendrick Law who's going down the field, pulls that safety out, and then comes Jeremy Bernard at that intermediate level, and Milro puts the ball on the money.
Knocking on the door of the red zone again. Justice Haynes dives forward. Gain of 4. As Alabama gets closer and closer to the end zone, this is where Jalen Milro likes to tuck and run, keep it himself. Saw him do that 4 times against LSU a week ago. Hands it off here. Big hole opens up. Haynes runs right through it inside the 5. Miles Redding with a touchdown saving tackle.
What a great jump cut by Justice Haynes. Looks like they're going to go quick here.
Right back to Haynes. There's a flag in the back of the end zone.
Looked like Alabama was trying to go fast to keep
Real on the field, there was a fumble recovered in the end zone by the offense. Result of play is a touchdown. Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players on the field. That penalty is declined. We may go for the try.
Caden Proctor claims the touchdown. The sophomore left tackle. I didn't even see that ball pop out. I don't think anybody in the stadium did either.
No. But Caden Proctor just let us know here. The ball squirts out
there. The touchdown on the previous play is under video review. Timeout.
I think the question is, when he recovered that ball, did he cross the plane of the end zone? It looks like that ball is short as he drops down on it. His left knee is on the ground. The ball looks like it's about an inch short of breaking the plane.
So this might be the only chance that the 6'7", 370-pound left tackle has at a touchdown in his career. So
you said 6'7", 370?
370,
Woo.
yeah.
Big boy.
The pride of Des Moines, Iowa. He got winded celebrating that touchdown.
I remember watching him develop last year as a true freshman and had some growing pains early, but I mean, he has just turned into a fantastic left tackle.
He will be waiting with anticipation on this review. So Haynes, he was stretching, and that's when the ball popped out. Proctor's there. Yeah, he's short, unfortunately. He tried to kind of pull it into his stomach there, but
when you're 6'7", 370, you tend to stand out a little bit. It's hard to hide, even in a pile. But I also wonder if they're going to say Haynes' knee was down as that ball popped out, which would keep it about a yard short of breaking the plane.
Long review here. Just don't think there's evidence of him breaking the plane.
No.
I don't know what's taken so long, Rocky, because we showed one look at it and you knew they should overturn this. And Proctor clearly just touches that ball with it not breaking the plane.
I mean,
you feel bad. He was so excited.
He's so hyped up. Nothing better than a big man touchdown.
I just don't think.
No, I don't think it's going to sound. I wonder if it's just a clock issue they're trying to figure out. I don't know, because it's you can tell one look and he's short the end zone. But he's going to sell it. Maybe doing the dances. Convince the officials to keep it in your favor.
All right, we're finally getting ready for the call here.
After review, the runner was down prior to losing possession and before entering the end zone. Therefore, it is not a touchdown. The illegal substitution penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. After this is the goal, it'll be first down Alabama, 1.5 yards from the goal line.
You saw Proctor with the thumbs down there. That was
Boo.
great. But they say Justice Haynes' knee was down prior to the fumble.
Come on, Kevin DeBoer. Put him at fullback and hand it to him, right? The big man deserves it.
That would be great. At least you got to run it to his side, right?
Yeah, you got to let him get some sense of glory here.
Kendrick Law in motion. Milro hands it off. Jam Miller bulldozing for the touchdown. Eight-play, 67-yard touchdown drive, and Jam Miller punches it in for the Crimson Tide score. Proctor now still celebrating, even though they took the touchdown away from the big left tackle.
It's just a gigantic human being. We gotta love how animated he is and fun-loving he seems to be.
The ruling of a touchdown on the previous play is under video review. Timeout.
And the crowd here at Bryant-Denny Stadium doesn't want another 3-minute review, and you can't blame them.
We'll look at it here, but let's see if there's an elbow down before he crosses. Okay, the hand's down. That's fine, but when it becomes a forearm and an elbow, then you're officially down.
Well, that elbow looks down before the ball breaks the plane. So this could be 2 Alabama touchdowns taken away here on the first drive of the second half.
And you also could be looking at the left arm too. Again, the hand can be down, but once that forearm and elbow on the left arm touches, they might be looking at that as well.
I don't know how you feel, Rocky. I think there should be a timer on these reviews.
Seriously, I mean, this is
90 seconds, 2 minutes. If you can't decide, it stands.
This should stand here, because the day and age of options, when people can scroll social media or flip the channel. You got to keep people engaged, and this is no good.
It has been 8 minutes since the first review.
After review, the runner was down with the ball a half yard short of the goal line. It'll be second down.
All right, so 2 Alabama touchdowns taken away by reviews. Everybody get the phones out for the Alabama touchdown here. Third time might be the charm for the Crimson Tide. And this time, Jam Miller is jacked up in the backfield. There's a flag down.
Penalty.
Isaac Dowling and Ken Stanley, the 2 veteran linebackers for Mercer, read that play extremely well.
Illegal shift. Offense. Number 80 and 1 were both in motion at the same time. The penalty is declined. Result of play is third down.
On the right side.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah.
So 3rd and goal in what has been a bizarre 10 minutes here. Alabama's had 2 touchdowns taken away. Can they punch it in on a 3rd and goal to cap off this opening drive of the 3rd quarter? Milro keeps it himself. Jalen Milro dives in. This one will stand. Jalen Milro delivers his 17th rushing touchdown on the season.
And I'm sure you don't want to necessarily run your quarterback at this stage of the game, but you're this close and been some odd calls and things like that. So just rush it in, put some more points on the board.
Now 3rd time's the charm for Alabama after 2 touchdowns taken away by video review. Milro does it himself.
Yeah, Milro, fancy footwork following his blockers, shifty, and then power right at the end. Punches it in for the end zone, putting the shoulder down, and then Milro with a little dance afterward. He loved it. Crimson Tide rolling 38-7.
8-7 lead. A little less than 5 minutes gone by in this second half. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Ashley Stroline down on the sideline. The Crimson Tide, a commanding first quarter, and they have kept their foot on the gas. This has been the lone bright spot for Mercer, the lone touchdown. Whit Neubauer to Kendall Harris.
Yeah, Whit Neubauer, the Alabama fan as a young boy, comes into Bryant-Denny Stadium, and there's his folks right there. They love it. Getting to see their young son with a great throw and a great catch here. You got to love that embrace.
And Neubauer started as the 3rd string quarterback at the beginning of the season as a true freshman, has worked his way up with the injury to the starter, DJ Smith, to take the reins here. Empty set on 1st and 10. Quick hitter. And a broken tackle leads to a gain of 7 for Keelan Parsons. He's been the top target today for Mercer.
And Parsons has been in and out of the game with injuries, and you got to give that man credit. Gutsy performance.
Gang tackle, nowhere to run for Tyrell Cord, loss of 1. Tim Keenan the 3rd. First to the ball there. There's the normal starter, DJ Smith, who's been battling through an ankle injury. Have not seen him for Mercer. This is a Bears team that has already clinched a spot in the FCS playoff, a 9-1 record, and they'll shake off this loss to Alabama and still have a lot of football in front of them. Alabama trying to win their way into the playoff. That ball's knocked down, well contested. Bray Hubbard, the sophomore safety, he's really emerged in recent weeks, Rocky. Been a bright spot in the secondary.
He really has. Against LSU last week, a great game. Had an interception, a great pass breakup early in that game that got that defense going, and another great play on the ball. That was going to be a catch, but as a defender, you got to come in and be relentless. Just keep knocking, fighting, pulling those arms away. You're going to force the punt.
Jalen Mbakwe, the freshman, awaiting this punt from John McConnell. Usually it's Ryan Williams who's the punt returner. Mbakwe getting a chance here. Breaks a tackle. Good cut. This is a very good return by the freshman from Clay, Alabama. A return of 18 yards. This will be great starting field position. Although a late flag all the way on the other
side. During the kick, holding return team number 18. The 10-yard penalty is enforced from the end of the kick. It'll be first down Alabama at that spot. Timeout.
Penalty's 40 yards away from where Mbakwe returned it. We'll be right back. Bama up 38-7. Well, Jalen Milro's day is done as we see Ty Simpson ready to lead the offense, but pretty good day at the office, Rocky.
Yeah, no doubt. We've seen everything today that's shown him to be so special all year. Great in the run game, but then the explosive pass game. And that's the thing is, you want to say, okay, we got to put extra guys in the box. We got to stop him when he runs it. Well, then he can just roll out and throw that ball downfield. Great accuracy. It's just such a hard thing to stop here. And when you got a guy that's that big and that athletic, that fast, you got to get extra hats in the box. And then when you commit to that, that opens up the one-on-ones on the outside.
3 touchdowns to his name today. Great read. Andrew Zock all over Kendrick Law there. Zock's been a bright spot for Mercer, loss of 3. Take a look at Ty Simpson, the redshirt sophomore quarterback. He, in high school, terrific player, Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year. He's the number 2 quarterback in our ESPN 300 class.
That's another thing you get to do in a game like this is get some more guys on the field, helps your depth out.
Well, Ty Simpson would be playing college football a lot of places, just not behind Jalen Milro. An opportunity to see what Simpson can do. Right on the money with his first throw. Finds Caleb Odom, another talented freshman for this Bama team.
Simpson getting an opportunity in that position in particular. It's all about reps. It's all about getting the looks and reading defenses, watching the progressions.
Yeah. Right back to Odom. I think Caleb Odom's going to be a really terrific player when it's all said and done for the Crimson Tide. 6'5", 227. We almost saw a spectacular catch from him in the first half. He dove for it, just squeezed out at the last minute as he hit the ground. 2 grabs here on this drive.
Yeah, that size-speed combination is very, very tough to beat.
Here's Kendrick Law, and once again, nothing going. They've tried to go to Law in the run game with some jet sweeps and loses 5 there. It just hasn't been his day.
I just wonder, is there a bubble screen? Is there something you can get him, shoot him the ball in the pass game out in the flat and let him make some guys miss? But the jet sweep has not really worked for them so far today.
Third and 11 Simpson in trouble. Rolls right. Buys himself some time. Going to tuck and run for the first down. How about that by Ty Simpson? He's looking like Jalen Milro with the escapability to pick up 13 and move the chains.
Yeah, Simpson likes it. That's a great confidence builder. You're flushed out of the pocket, and this is what it takes at quarterback. Sometimes it ain't there. You got to tuck and run, make something happen with your feet. It's a critical part of this offense, of course, with Milro, but now Simpson's showing he's got a little fancy footwork.
They run it with Richard Young there. They're trying to get him some more carries. Another talented freshman on this Alabama offense at just his 19th carry on the season. He did have a touchdown last week in the 42-13 win at LSU. Quick hitter. Finds Kobe Prentice, who's bounced out of bounds.
And Jay, that's the play right there that I'd like to see them get Kendrick Law involved in, right? A little bubble screen to the outside, couple blockers. See if you can make some guys miss in space.
Third and short. Pick up the first down with a run. Richard Young again with the carry to move the chains.
Yeah, depth has always been so important to the Alabama team, why they've been able to win consistently year in, year out, because somebody goes down, they rotate another guy in. It's a little bit harder in the day and age of the transfer portal, because if you're on the bench, these guys are shooting to another place. I think it's one reason why there hasn't been that dominant team in the SEC yet so far this year.
Simpson taking a deep shot. Couldn't connect with Kobe Prentice. And that's what this Kalen DeBoer coach team can do, Rocky, is they'll lull you to sleep with a couple of runs and then try and push that ball down the field on a shot.
Yeah, and even when you don't connect on these, it still sends a message to the defense of, okay, you can't just sit there and stack 8 guys in there and say, hey, we're going to stop the run, because he's shown the ability wherever he's been, whatever stop he's at, that he can connect in the pass game.
Simpson throwing on second down, and Daniel Hill dropped it. This will be 3rd and 10 upcoming right at midfield.
Daniel Hill, another freshman. Getting lots of freshmen on that field here for Alabama, both sides of the ball.
Milro watches on after the successful game for him. 3 touchdowns to his name. And now the backup Ty Simpson with his first drive in trouble on a 3rd and 10. Breaks the sack, throws, who's a low throw, and passes incomplete. Alabama will be forced to punt here.
Still think that was a good series for Ty Simpson. Completed some passes, scrambled, got a first down with his legs.
James Burnip, the Alabama punter, only 1 punt today, just traveled 20 yards. Much better connection here. Although it still went out of bounds before the 20. Only a punt of 29 yards. Alabama in the driver's seat. 4 minutes left in the 3rd. Brand Random Fandom, meet Zach Petroselli, an Alabama super fan who not only goes to all the home games, but is always at the airport when the Tide leave and come back from road games. You can see from these pictures how much Zach loves the Tide. Well, even after the loss to Vanderbilt, that's the picture on the left. Zach was there to welcome the team home, told them thanks for trying. That is true fandom. He was one of just 10 people at the airport that day. They call them the Tuscaloosa 10.
It's easy to be a fan when things are going great, right? But when things are going bad, a little setback with the team, do you still hang in there? And Zach sure does. How fantastic.
He doesn't have to worry about a loss today, a 38-7 lead. That's so great to be there for your team, even when they're going on the road at the airport, a familiar, smiling face, win or lose. He's had a lot to smile about in recent weeks. This turnaround for Alabama after that loss to Tennessee. They win 34-0 against Missouri, a 42-13 thumping of LSU last week under the lights in Baton Rouge. And this will be a third consecutive complete game for Alabama, and fans like Zach absolutely love it.
John Campbell still in the game.
He strikes me as a guy that even if they said get off the field, he says no.
He'll find a way to sneak back on the field. That's right.
3rd and 5. Campbell with his ears pinned back on the near side of the defensive line, number 11. That pass is incomplete. 3 and out. And what's been more impressive to you, Rocky, during this really good streak as we get another look at his 3rd down incompletion in our random fandom? Zach Petroselli.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Fist pump. There we go. We'll take that all day long.
I was going to ask you, during this positive streak for Alabama, if you started that Missouri game to now, what's impressed you more, defense or offense?
I would have to say the defense and the takeaways. Again, just because you get the takeaways, that gets the ball back to your red-hot offense. They've gotten a couple today. They had 6 coming into today.
Lost to UConn in the championship game, so 2 good programs going at it, and they'll have a chance for some Big Ten revenge Wednesday night against Illinois. Good run here to start the drive. Richard Young, gain of 9.
Been impressed with Richard Young.
Simpson throwing on 2nd and short. Picks out Kobe Prentice, who gets to the 50. 1st down, Alabama. Mercer's got
This is timeout for
an
injury.
injured player. That's Donovan Watkins limping off to the Bears sideline. Now, it's not just the winning team that should think about subbing in some 2s here in the 2nd half. Mercer, again, a team that won the Southern Conference, will be playing in the FCS playoffs, so you want to keep as many bodies healthy as you can if you're head coach Mike Jacobs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a number 7 team in the country. The FCS level. A really, really good team. Same thing on both sides of the ball. You don't want to get your guys hurt.
This will be a false start against the Crimson Tide.
False start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty. It remains 1st down.
Offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan trying to convert with the 2nd string. It was Jalen Milro and the ones that scored the 38. There's Richard Young again, his 4th carry. 23 yards to his name.
just trying to think of the other offenses in the SEC right now, and it's hard to find many more producing as well as Alabama right now.
Yeah, people would probably point to Ole Miss and Texas as the two that have
certainly Ole Miss in the last couple weeks.
Texas struggled at Arkansas in a renewed rivalry game, but still won the game by 10. But I agree with you, Rocky. I just think you take a look at the last 3 weeks, it probably is Alabama, the team playing the best football in the SEC. So much parity this season, something we'll talk about in the fourth quarter. You know, no divisions this year, so it'll be the top two best records. There's going to be a lot of tiebreakers, I'm sure. Taking a shot here at the end of the third quarter. A flag is thrown.
Offside, defense number 30. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down. That's the end of the third quarter. After enforcement, it will be the fourth quarter.
So it'll be 3rd and short for Alabama to start the fourth quarter. A 38-7 lead. The Crimson Tide on their way to 8-2.
How would you evaluate the play of your offense in Jalen Milro today?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where it's, really good. The drive that obviously we stalled, you're really frustrated because there were some simple things that we didn't execute. So, he's going to find a way to get in the end zone. Proud of the effort he gave there. There's always going to be things you want to clean up and be better at.
And what would you like to see from your group, including Ty Simpson, the rest of the way?
Yeah, you want to see these guys execute. They all believe that, the opportunities are out there for them, and this is an opportunity for them to go do it and go make plays.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
How about pushing that pile? That's execution there. Exactly what first-year head coach Kalen DeBoer was calling for, to pick up the first down and then some. That pile pushed it for a gain of 9. Incredible effort.
Drilling on the field as the runner had lost progress with his feet off the ground, short of the line to gain. 4th down.
Hold on a second.
Wait a minute. What?
And they didn't blow the play dead until he was a gain of 9. Let's take another look at this.
Yeah, I mean, if the play's dead, why didn't they blow the whistle and call it? He's in the air.
Yeah, it's because they lifted him up.
Yeah, okay.
The offense stays on the field for a 4th and 1. And there's a new quarterback in. This is Dylan Lonergan, redshirt freshman from Snellville, Georgia, trying to convert the 4th and 1, and they do. So we just heard from Kalen DeBoer down on the sideline with Ashley Stroline. He is a perfect 9-0 in November since 2022, 33-2 overall. He just gets his team playing their best football at the right time, and I can't think of a better attribute for a head coach.
No, absolutely, because there's ups and downs of a season, and one thing he's done that all the great ones do
Building a
is
substitution offense, 12 players in the huddle for more than 3 seconds. 5-yard penalty, first down.
As I was saying, one thing he's able to do is take a negative. You take a loss to Vandy, and you find a way to pull positives out of that and make your team more and more resilient.
We saw what he did at Washington a year ago, and just the ability to get your team just a little bit better each week.
Yeah.
So you're playing your absolute best when it matters most, and Alabama has followed that trend. Simpson back into the game, dialing up a deep shot, double coverage, diving for the catch. And there's a flag thrown in the end zone. Jaron Hamilton couldn't come up with it, and that's because he was impeded.
There's no foul on the play. The result is second down after the incomplete pass.
Take another look.
Let's see here. Make an effort to ball.
Hamilton fighting through Bliss. They ultimately decide no penalty. Simpson taking another deep shot, going right back to Hamilton, and it falls incomplete again. TJ Moore in coverage for Mercer.
Crowd wants another penalty there. Simpson's not shy to put that ball in the air, I'll tell you that. It's close, a little bit short. That ball's coming right into your living room. Pylon cam.
So after the 2 incompletions at 3rd and 15, and Simpson somehow gets out of the sack, plants his feet, throws downfield, and it's caught. What a play! Ty Simpson looking like Eli Manning in that Super Bowl. Josh Cuevas the catch. Wow!
I mean, he was dead to rights. Arius Nash just had him shut down. He wiggles out of it and just launches that ball.
They hurried the line, 1st and goal. Punch it in. Richard Young, the touchdown. But the hero of that drive, Ty Simpson, on 3rd and 15, escapes the sack, keeps the drive alive.
And that's a couple times today. Simpson has, been under pressure. Looks like he's going to get sacked. He's able to wiggle out of it, and one time picked up the first down with his legs, and that time stays alive and plays a deep ball. And the guys in the secondary, they see that too. Like, okay, we got him sacked. He kind of let up a little bit. Then he squirts out of there, and all of a sudden that ball's over your head.
And the awareness that he had time to plant his feet and load up. Take another look. This is spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, he is wrapped up, dead to rights, kicks out of that thing, back foot, launch. And then he also got to get a little help from your receiver getting down the field. Cuevas jumps up and takes it. They keep it on the ground for the rest. 45-7, Alabama.
Now, even though the game was well in hand at this point for Alabama, this is the play of the day. Ty Simpson escapes the sack, plants his feet, and then Josh Cuevas plays the role of David Tyree in that Super Bowl, the Giants against the Patriots. Eli Manning to Tyree, one of the most iconic plays in football, and that was the college football version of it. Obviously, the stakes not nearly as high in this game.
But
well
look,
in hand, but still a cool play.
Oh, cool play, and that's what these games like this are all about. Is there's a lot of guys getting some opportunities to play, and you want to turn some heads. You want to put some things on tape where the coach go, wow, we got to figure out how to get this guy in the game, or figure out how to develop him more. It's all about when you get your opportunity, can you take advantage of it and put something good on tape?
So Alabama 45-7 lead, well in control here. A good run by Micah Bell. Next week they'll turn their attention back to the SEC. They go on the road to play Oklahoma. Good luck trying to figure out who the top 2 are going to be in the SEC at the end of the regular season to play in the conference championship game. Look at that logjam on the left.
I'm not sure if anybody anticipated this at the beginning of the season with, the 12-team playoff coming about. But here we are.
What do you attribute all the parity to this year in the SEC?
It's certainly the transfer portal, because there's no teams that are just stacked top to bottom with, that have that 7th, 8th, 9th dominant lineman that's ready to go, because those guys in today's day and age, if they're not getting on the field and you're a top player, you're hitting the portal and you're going to go play. And I certainly get it. I understand it, but it's just hard to stack talent and stack depth the way it used to be done at Alabama, Georgia, and those kind of schools.
And that's where, at least if you had the divisions, okay, the winner of one division, the winner of the other, you know who's going to play for a conference championship. With this, you have so many. Deflected ball falls incomplete. So according to our ESPN analytics, the 6 teams racing for those 2 spots, Texas the most likely at 64%, Alabama at 51%. So they, according to this, a better shot than not of making the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they calculate all this stuff, but my eyeballs tell me, watching this Alabama team today, that they are very, very dangerous, because as we've described all day, Jay, it's not like they're a juggernaut offense but the defense struggles, or vice versa. It's both sides of the ball playing very, very well.
Now, obviously, the winner of Georgia-Tennessee will increase their odds. If Tennessee wins, their odds will skyrocket.
Big time. That'd be
if
huge.
Georgia wins, I think that helps Alabama. But as you said, with so many tiebreakers, it's going to come down to the last week of the regular season and a lot of math being done.
And there's so many scenarios, too. Like, you could see a 2-loss team, SEC team, getting into the SEC championship game, playing well but losing, and they have 3 losses. But are they necessarily worse than a 2-loss team that doesn't make it to the championship game?
That's a great point. I do not think the committee should penalize a team.
No.
For making the college football, or making the SEC championship game and losing. That'll be a very fascinating conversation as it continues to unfold. We step aside. Bama up 45-7. Yep.
Than a playoff like this. The new 12-team college football playoff begins with the first round December 20th and 21st.
And can you believe it? The selection day for the new expanded 12-team college football playoff is 4 weeks away. So let's explain it for you. The projected bracket based off the committee's latest rankings. The 4 highest-ranked conference champions receive that automatic bid and a first-round bye. Then you bring in the at-large teams, 5 through 8 in this case. They get the first-round games. And Alabama currently would be playing Indiana. Plenty of time for that to change. The 5th-ranked conference champion also receives an automatic bid. That would be Boise State. Those all get seeded based on their ranking. But the most important thing to point out, Rocky, is those conference champions get the automatic bid. So the 4 highest, you see 1 through 4 right there, and then Boise State is the other one right now. So very similar to the NFL in the sense that they reward their division winners.
Right.
And that's exactly what the college football playoff has decided to do as well.
And that's where people, if you don't follow, and as we try to explain it, people are going to lose their mind because they see, well, wait a minute, I mean, right now, currently, Miami's the number 9 ranked college football playoff team, but how did they get the 4 slot? Well, because they would, at least as if it were ended to end right now, they would be the winner of the ACC, and a conference winner gets one of those first-round buys.
I think that NFL comparison is a good one because sometimes you'll see a team with a better record, but if they don't win their division, they don't get the bye because they're rewarding winning your conference. And I even like that there's a 5th conference champion that even though they don't get the bye, they get a spot.
Right.
So you could have a team outside of the top 12, but if you're a conference champion, you get in. And that's the case with Boise State right now.
I like that, rewarding who wins the conference. You know, that adds an element to excitement to a season.
So the 5 conference champions and then the other 7 spots, that's your at-large teams. And the question is, how many at-large teams of those 7 are going to belong to the SEC? Could be 4.
And you can see, I mean, there's a scenario, too, where there's a really good 2-loss SEC team that's left out of this thing just because, just how things shake out. I think a lot depends on, how Penn State finishes out, how Ohio State finishes out. How many spots does the Big Ten capture in the playoff?
I think as it pertains to Alabama, though, the committee has kind of showed their hand. They've got them in the field of 12, the projected field that was released on Tuesday night. And if they handle their business, win at Oklahoma and win a rivalry game against Auburn, I think they're in.
Yeah.
And you brought it up right before we stepped aside for the break. I think that should be irrespective of what happens in the conference championship game. If you are a 2-loss team that goes and plays in a conference championship game and loses, you should not be knocked out for a team that was sitting on the couch and didn't make the conference championship game.
Because now you're incentivizing not making the conference title game, which is not what you want. You should be rewarded for being a team that goes to the conference title game. I mean, if that precedent is set, then all of a sudden you're going to see teams seeing how they can get out of playing that final game.
Alabama continued to run the football effectively. This will be another Crimson Tide first down thanks to Kevin Riley. His second carry of the afternoon. This has been a perfect November weather day in the SEC. Bryant-Denny Stadium with a great buzz to it after that win at LSU on the road a week ago. They welcomed this team home and really partied from the first quarter on. Got up 28-0, kept their foot on the gas. It is under 7 minutes, ticks down to this fourth quarter. Dylan Lonergan, the third-string quarterback, showing what he can do. Pitch here. Daniel Hill stopped shy of the first down, gain of 6. Third and 3. Lonergan tried to check it down there and just behind Drake Kirkpatrick on the crossing route.
So give Dylan Lonergan a chance to pick this fourth down up.
The ball at the Mercer 40-yard line, so an opportunity for some 2s and 3s to execute on game day. But how difficult Alabama's schedule has been this season. Not a lot of opportunities for these players to show what they can do on game day. Lonergan, great throw, just threads the needle. Moves the chains. Really nice job to find Ty Lockwood.
And good ball placement here. You got to throw it away from the defender. Great job putting that ball in. Another new quarterback.
Yeah, they're just running the quarterbacks in here. This is Austin Mack. He was the first player to transfer from Washington to Alabama after it was announced Kalen DeBoer took the job. And it was interesting. That was very helpful because Mack could actually help translate to Milro and Simpson and Lonergan what DeBoer was looking for, because he spent a year with them in Washington in that quarterback room.
Yeah, that kind of experience in his offense is key, and I know he comes here to Alabama and hoping he can emerge as the guy next year.
A play action for Mack. He's got a good arm. He sails it over the head of Lockwood. A good frame, too. 6'6", 235 pounds. We saw him warming up down on the field.
Yeah, we're like, whoa, who's that guy?
We were saying he'd play a lot of places. He wouldn't be a fourth-string quarterback on many rosters elsewhere in college football.
He also just looks like a guy you put 20 pounds on him and throw him at tight end, and you got something going there, too.
When's the last time you saw 4 quarterbacks get into a game?
Seriously, yeah.
And all of them extremely talented. Third and 8. They went to Kevin Riley. And he got the 8 that they needed. Another Alabama first down. Jalen Milro watching on. He had 3 touchdowns a day. Got Alabama out to an early lead. This is the 15th play of a long Alabama drive. They keep it on the ground. Read well by Mercer.
And let's not forget, Mercer still has a ton to play for. They're the number 7 team in the FCS right now. They got a defense that leads the league in takeaways, interceptions. They got a great run defense. Their offense has been explosive, so they still have a ton to play for.
How impressive were those two? Ryan Williams and Jahad Campbell.
It's a deadly combination right there.
Mack taking a shot to the end zone. It's caught. Dropped it right into Rico Scott to cap off a 16-play Alabama drive. Austin Mack's first game action after transferring from Washington, showing what he can do. Everybody loving it on that Bama sideline.
Seriously, all the guys love when some of the non-starters, some of the backups get in and get their opportunity and make plays. You can see how fired up that sideline is.
We just told the story, but Austin Mack, Kalen DeBoer recruits him to Washington. He redshirts at Washington, but is in that quarterback room. Then he's announced as the head coach of Alabama. Mack says, I'm coming with you. In his first game action.
Yeah, Austin Mack, nice job, settles in the pocket, puts it up high in the back of the end zone where Rico Scott can get it. He's fired up. This Alabama sideline is fired up. And how about Ryan Williams? More excited than when he scored his own touchdowns.
Now, there's been a lot to celebrate here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Saban Field's been rocking since kickoff. A team that's about to go and finish this one off. It'd be a 3-game win streak for Alabama following that loss to Tennessee, and they tick up to 71% chance of making that college football playoff according to our all-state playoff predictor. Got to be pretty happy about that if you're an Alabama fan.
Absolutely. And I mean, how many teams do you see over the course of the year that start off hot and they're just rolling, but maybe they don't face the adversity that they need to in the beginning or middle of the season. It doesn't help them late in the season. I think you can look at those losses to Vanderbilt and to Tennessee, and Alabama able to learn some things about themselves and correct some things, and now here we are in November playing their best football.
And Kalen DeBoer told us that he feels like his coaching staff, his players have taken advantage of those 2 losses, of the adversity they've faced. He's seen more urgency, more anticipation, and more discipline out of his team during this 3-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, teams I've played on and coaches I've had, it's if you lose a game and you don't learn anything from it, you don't use it as an opportunity to get better, then that's the real loss. You gotta find a way to get the positives out of a loss, because that's when the real corrections, when the real work can get done.
And if you're Mercer, how do you take the positives out of this loss? Because you're still 9-1 against FCS opponents. You're booked a spot in the playoffs because you're the SoCon champs. How do you not let this spiral on you?
Yeah, I think you got to look at some of the positives. They were able to move the ball and put up some yards. It's the turnovers they've had that was really kind of the thing that really hurt them. I think, of course, getting that guy back right there, DJ Smith, their starting quarterback, was a little more of a run dynamic to him that can create a spark. But certainly, they got to find a way to flush this out of their system. Same thing, learn some things from this game and then take it into the postseason.
That ball batted down at the line of scrimmage brings us to our 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
2 minutes away from improving to 8-2 on the season. Football Saturday down south. Just a perfect November day at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama took care of business on Saban Field. A 52-7 commanding win. 2 minutes left remaining. Alabama's going to get the ball back here on a punt, and you imagine they'll just run out this clock. Rocky improved to 8-2, and then all focus on Oklahoma next week, out Auburn after that. But if you take care of business, you think the way the College Football Playoff Committee has been projecting Alabama, that they would be comfortably in the field of 12. Two teams that are definitely on the bubble to make the College Football Playoff, Tennessee and Georgia. Does this feel like an elimination game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has that feel. I mean, Georgia would go to 3 losses. It'd be hard to see how a 3-loss team would get into this thing.
What's incredible is with the loss, they still have both teams above 50%. That's, again, according to our all-state playoff predictor. I don't know the math behind that, but I trust the numbers. I say this, a win would almost definitely get you in. Tennessee 97%, Georgia 96%. I think Alabama, if they take care of business, Kalen DeBoer's team, no doubt about it, will be in as well. I was looking at it this morning, Rocky. I think 5 SEC teams are going to be in. You'll have your conference champion that gets the automatic bid, and then 4 of the 7 at large will be SEC teams.
Be strong. I think a lot might depend on Notre Dame.
Of course, we almost made it through a whole broadcast without you bringing up your Irish.
I noticed there was about a minute left on the clock. Had to make a case for the Irish.
No, I agree with you. They should be in. I think that win at Texas A&M is what will get them in. What's crazy about them is even if they went undefeated, they were the #1 ranked team according to the College Football Playoff Committee. The best they could get is the 5 seed, because those top 4 belong to conference champions, and Notre Dame not in a conference, so you can't be a conference champion.
Not in a conference, and as someone who is biased will say, I don't think they should be in a conference. I like the fact that they're independent, but yeah, they went out. I think they'll certainly be in as well.
The final play of the game here. Alabama improves to 8-2. Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide on a 3-game winning streak as they take care of Mercer. And the Bears come into Tuscaloosa and lose 52-7. Their focus will move to the FCS playoff, which they have already clinched by winning the SoCon. Jalen Milro and this Alabama team, they've responded so well after that loss to Tennessee. win against Missouri, and then a thumping of LSU, and now a 52-7 win against Mercer to make it 3 straight wins.
Yeah, I think you're Kalen DeBoer. You look at your team, how your defense is playing, how your offense is playing, and then the fact that you have Jalen Milro playing at the level he is right now, both using his legs and in the pass game, feel good about it.
And let's send it down to Ashley Stroline to get some Alabama reaction after the win.
Well, Jalen, you told me earlier this week that although you had a great performance last week, you were disappointed you couldn't get everyone on the offense involved. Today you were able to do that. What does a performance like this do for your team?
I think the best thing for our offense is knowing that we're not one-dimensional. We have so many elements to our offense that's explosive. And, you know, it's all about mastering the game plan, mastering what all goes into each play that we have, and distributing our ball to the playmakers. So I think it's so important just going in the game plan, just try to spread the ball around as much as possible, allow them to do some great things in space.
Your coaching staff talked about how this team had embraced the adversity. 3 straight wins now since your last loss. 2 games left in the regular season. What's your approach as you finish it off?
Number one, go 1-0 each and every day that we have to compete. It leads into the game. We have to go 1-0 each day, just stacking great days, allow us to all have the right mindset and be team-oriented. That's going to be so important for us. I hope our team to be team-oriented, focus on the detail, just keep on going 1-0.
All right, Charlie, congrats on the win. Appreciate the time.
Roll Tide.
Yep. Well, Jihad, a strong showing by the defense today with 3 takeaways. What got you guys going so early on, especially?
Just taking it back to the first week of practice, I understand, that we're playing Mercer, but don't just stoop down to that level of competition. We got to stay consistent, do what we do in our preparation and execution, and we came out here and we did it.
It feels like you guys really turned a page, especially after that Vandy loss. What has been working so well for you guys since then that you just continue to elevate your play and go out there and perform like you did today?
When you think about that, it's just finding a way to be great, finding a way to be better, in our habits every day, and, just understanding that we all got to come together and play Alabama football.
All right, appreciate the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, final score here. Alabama, big-time win, 52-7 with 2 games remaining in the regular season. For myself, Jay Alter, Rocky Boyman, and all of our awesome staff behind the crew, that is going to do it for us here in Tuscaloosa.